Alright friends, strap in, because this one is like Ocean Spray's brand new cranberry orange combo juice. Cringe. Cringe? Cringe? Look, just go with it. I'm tired. 6 years before Trump announced his bid for the presidency, he was still failing his way on up to the top, bankrupting his own companies even as he exploited others into doing free work for him. And for reasons I've never understood, the flabby fascist fuck had fans. Now I like to think that the crossover between Donald Trump fans and people writing fan fiction about Yu-Gi-Oh! Is small, but it's clearly not zero because nightcrawlerlover felt called to pen this cursed crossover. Sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying, and we did plenty of both reading this turd. If you would like to email Fanfiction Theater, you can do so by sending it to fanficnight@orderoftheleague.com. You can send us fan art, fanfiction for us to read, questions, comments, concerns. Now enjoy Fanfiction Theater, a celebration of naive writing and all of its foibles, flaws, and unintentional hilarity.
Seto Kaiba from Yu-Gi-Oh! Meeting Donald Trump is a one-shot. There are no more chapters. It's stupid as hell and not a joke.
And also written long ago, 2010. And it has a song, apparently.
It has 2 songs, unfortunately. They're short.
Okay, we might as well. Meeting Donald Trump, a Yu-Gi-Oh! Plus miscellaneous TV shows crossover. Here's a new Yu-Gi-Oh! One-shot I cooked up. Oh boy. I always wonder, haven't you?
All day, every day.
What would happen if Seto Kaiba met Donald Trump? After all, they're both businessmen, you see.
What?
Although one is fictional and the other is real.
But which?
Still.
Oh, can I guess which one?
Kaiba's a businessman?
Yes. He's
he
a
runs
businessman
Kaiba.
He
duelist.
played one on TV.
I thought his dad ran Kaiba Corp.
No, his dad's dead.
Yeah.
Spoilers!
Yeah, you're thinking of Gozabro?
Oh my god!
Anyway, I'm trying to write this through Kaiba's eyes, as he's very complex. And writing what he would say is pretty tough. But I do my best when it comes to him.
You were
Anyway.
a third-rate president with a fourth-rate term.
Oh!
Anyway, this is dedicated to all the girls out there who
What?
like Kaiba.
No, you are, guys.
Enjoy, and please leave a review.
Oh, we will.
Okay.
Plus, send the flames to my email, please.
Straight into my inbox, please.
Oh no. So
Those
you
are
can't
for
just type
personal usage.
it? Oh no.
Disclaimer. Genius Kazuki Takahashi owns Yu-Gi-Oh!
I have to leave.
The lyrics to Wolves by Garth Brooks.
I have to leave super hard now.
And Sexy Boy by Shawn
I'm
Michaels
gone. I'm gone. Take my headphones and leave.
belong to their respective owners.
Wait,
I own.
wait, the guy who was taken down by The Undertaker in 1997 on WWE did a song called Sexy Boy?
Yes, apparently.
I own the one-shots and the stories. I am the owner of the stories.
Ooh.
By the power of Grayskull.
Meeting Donald Trump. Lord, please shine a light of hope on those who fall behind. And when we stumble in the snow, could you help us up while there's still time?
I don't want to rush you, God.
Well, I don't mean to be complaining, Lord. You've always seen me through. You led me to that bar and grill. I'm grateful for that to you. And I know you've got your reasons for each and everything you do. But
What's
tonight-
sad is I didn't realize that was a joke and not
But tonight outside my window, there's a lonesome, mournful sound. And I just can't keep from thinking. God, got through it. About the ones the wolves pull down. Oh Lord, keep me from being the one the wolves pull down.
This is I
God
cannot
bless.
wait to
Those who stay away from wolves, okay?
I cannot wait to see how the hell this is going to pertain to
Yeah.
Seto Kaiba meeting Donald Trump.
Kaiba's POV.
When I think Kaiba and Donald Trump, the first thing I think of, Garth Brooks, Wolves. Tristan's made for this. He's been living for this.
I smiled coolly at Donald Trump, the 64-year-old businessman who had invited me to the Plaza Hotel in New York so we would discuss something very serious that had nothing to do with business ventures.
I'd run away from home and I was home alone in New York.
Being chased around by the wet bandits.
I wondered if I could eat my pizza backwards.
I had been to New York before with Mokuba. It was in 2001, a few weeks after the September 11, 2001 attacks.
2001 attacks happened on September 11th?
Oh my God, never forget.
I was devastated beyond belief that the terrorists would try to crush the American spirit.
Like the cigarettes? Like the brand of cigarettes?
Yes.
Okay.
I
How
thought they
could
were
they-
my friends.
They wanted us all to vape.
Are you reading ahead? How could they get up the nerve to try something like that? I then made a promise to myself that the terrorists would never try to take over our land or attack a united group of nations.
Whoa, that's okay. That's
Is America, by standing alone, the one the wolf pulled down? Is that what's going on here?
the people torn down by the wolves are the Twin Towers.
Wow.
I didn't
You
know
think
there
the
were
Twin
some
Towers are
like-
real? Psh. The government faked the Twin Towers.
They just copied and pasted.
The one tower. Yeah, it was one tower moving back and forth really fast. So we thought
That's
there were
what's
twin
called
towers.
The Lin-Manuel Miranda effect.
Right. Well, in the days that followed, I was also impressed with the Americans going about the rebuilding process, as well as recovering too. It was now 2010, and I felt that things sure had changed.
Like the calendar year.
And in only 9 years too. And boy, was I right. At least from my perspective, which this is written from. So, Mr. Trump,
There it is.
I began as we sat across from each other in Trump Tower, feeling a little unsure about how to address him.
Please, just call me Donald.
He
A
smiled,
lot of people are calling me Donald. A lot of people.
feeling much better. I then asked, "What is it? What is it you want to talk to me about, Donald?" Donald then looked all businesslike.
Well,
Put on a tie.
for starters, there's this economic crisis going on. I believe you've heard about that. Oh, but you don't report it. You believe it. You believe it. I believe it. I believe it and you believe it.
I nodded. I had heard all about it. 3 years ago in 2007, there had been news reports of stocks falling in the stock market. Some people believed it was like the Great Depression all over again, what with the recession. That was their name for it, happening.
They call it
Only-
the happening. I remember. Yes. Remember
Only
that?
this time, they called it the Great Recession. And it was kind of like the Great Depression of the 1930s, only this was different.
Spitfire says
Spitfire.
so Michael's references could be coming back into style.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And things do change. I should know. I've read about the Great Depression in this big book I found one day. It's called Chronicle of the 20th Century, and it was a great read. However,
Richard Scarry's Big Book of the Depression.
I believed that if the Americans could rebuild and recover their spirits in the days following 9/11, they could surely handle a crisis like this. And I still do.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Did it happen in the present?
The future, I mean.
Your future present.
Yeah. Of course, Donald. Don't worry. I have more than enough money to support me at Mokuba! My little brother, so we're fine.
There it is. Yeah.
That's good, Mr. Kaiba. Mr.
Hey, ba.
Dual Monster, Tim Apple, Tim Dual Kaiba.
Said Donald.
After all, you're a businessman like myself.
That
So-
has been established.
So I know how you feel. Of course, I've been trying to store up enough money to support my family as well.
Scraping
Trying to
by.
scrape it
One
together.
of my sons turned on the shower, and it was like drip, drip. It was just like drip, drip. And people are trying to take a shower.
We grinned at each other and then began chatting about business to take our minds off of the economic crisis.
Oh, wait.
Bad choice.
I was starting to like Donald more and more. After all, he was right about one thing. We were both businessmen.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
And we both were storing up money to support our families. I guess I have a lot more in common with Donald than I think. Even now, as I write this.
Spitfire asks, where is Bob Executive in all this?
Yeah. My musings were interrupted when I looked up upon hearing a female voice shriek. Then a young woman with blonde hair and brown eyes, wearing a blue dress with small sequins, walked angrily into the room. She looked to be about 28, which she was.
I've been dated. Never verified.
I checked your birth certificate myself.
Spitfire says, so far this whole story could have been 2 paragraphs. It's just the same thing repeated over and over. 2
A lady
paragraphs
came in.
plus the excerpt from Wolves, okay?
She was glaring at Donald.
Tell Tiffany to stop going into my bedroom, searching through my stuff, and then reading my diary. I don't want her to spy on me.
She snapped.
She was 28.
Yeah.
And she was a horrible
And
monster.
we were both businessmen. We talked about businessmen.
I felt like the American spirit would be regained one day.
Donald raised his eyebrows while I blinked, studying her. As far as I could tell, this girl was something.
Don't you dare.
And she was. She was fiery. She was witty. She had something special about her. I just had to find out what.
Money.
And this
Plastic surgery.
Tiffany, so-called. I frowned as though deep in thought, which I was.
I'm trying to parody Masters here. It doesn't work.
I know. I wondered, was Tiffany supposed to be her younger half-sister? Is that what you're getting at here? By calling someone Tiffany?
She is.
I mean, Tiffany, what else could it be?
Hold on. Oh, wait. I thought. She is. Silly me.
Spitfire says the something special is the reason she is 28 and still acts like a 13-year-old.
Mm-hmm. Donald then said,
Ivanka, can we talk about this later?
Oh, you never listen to me!
Ivanka hissed.
Jeez!
And with that, Ivanka flounced out of the room, leaving a trail of something sweet.
Sorry, I just had to vomit blood really quickly. Please continue.
Maybe-
He doesn't have to keep hinting. We know he wants to bang Ivanka. Are we sure that it's not Donald Trump writing this?
Maybe it was burnt molasses. Maybe that was the trail or something sweet.
Burning.
Expensive perfume? I wasn't sure. In her wake, almost knocking me over.
Nope, I've been crop dusted.
Ivanka, my middle daughter.
Donald explained, turning to me.
Some say the middleest daughter.
Then another girl appeared as though she had floated into the room. She had blue eyes set in a pretty face and hair that was the color.
Very pretty face, okay? Very
Okay, sorry. Very pretty, very pretty. And the hair that was color of
The Oh,
sunflowers.
sunflower-colored haired trainer.
Yes. She's a sunflower head, if you will.
There it is.
She was wearing a pink dress that sparkled with glitter, which instantly put me in the mind of a fairy.
All right.
Garden fairy, of course. Of course.
Not a dark fairy, if you will, or a light fairy.
Right.
Misha says she wished she'd never agreed to this. So
Yeah, it's
we'll
too late
take our
now,
votes
though.
back.
This was Tiffany Trump. That one's in italics and bold.
Do it again. Do it again, but like with
This
more
was
effect.
Tiffany Trump. Tiffany, I asked. Tiffany Trump. She looked at me, surprised. Apparently, she didn't know I was there.
Me? Okay.
Yeah.
Sir,
She asked.
who are you?
Oh, God.
Yeah, no, we're going full with this.
I rose from my seat in a casual, lithe motion, reached for her hand, brought it to my lips. God damn it. And placed a kiss on the back.
Like a Hershey's kiss. He just like put it gently on the back of her hand.
If you can grab that without dropping it, it's yours.
That's how he was trying to get her to go away.
Yeah. I am Seto Kaiba. I replied. I was. But no. Your father has talked about me quite often. How do you know?
I assume.
Your father tells me he talks about me all the time.
This is you.
Really?
I asked Tiffany.
I didn't know that.
I could tell by the color rising in her cheeks that she was pleased with how I was treating her. I can tell that all the juices start to swell when I'm around. As I then relinquished my grasp on her hand. After all, it was my little brother Mokuba who, well, kind of pulled me out of my shell and got me into being nice to women and treating them as a gentleman would.
You know, grabbing them by the pussy. You know.
Yeah.
At first, I thought he was nuts. and laughed,
At first, I thought of his nuts.
hoping that he would say he was kidding. But when he gave me that mad look I had seen once before, with his eyebrows furrowed and his eyes narrowed, I stopped laughing. I knew he was serious.
Which band's the word I want to call this author?
Yeah, Mokuba was the original nice guy. Pioneered the whole movement. Tiffany then turned to her father.
Dad,
She said,
tell Ivanka to stop teasing me. I don't want her embarrassing me.
it sounds just like her.
I know.
She then turned to me.
Especially not in front of Kaiba.
Oh, really now? I purred, feeling all animalistic, passionate, sneaky.
Do you see why I made her a small demon child? Because this is what he's hitting on. He's hitting on a small demon child.
Almost like a dragon. Hold up. Or maybe I was one. A blue eyes white dragon.
Which I
Oh, Sean. I have no idea what this song
I kind of
is.
want to do this, but I want to do it as the wrestler.
Do it, yes.
Which you
That
are.
Which you
Oh.
are.
Oh, Sean, I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy. I've got the looks that drive the girls wild. I got the moves that really move them. I send chills up and down their spines. I'm just a sexy boy. I'm not your boy toy. I'm just a sexy boy.
Sexy boy.
I'm not your boy toy. Why the parrot? All right, whatever. Okay. I make them hot. I make them shiver. Their knees get weak whenever I'm around. They
That
see
doesn't
me
rhyme.
walk. They hear me talk. I make them feel like they're on cloud nine. I'm just a
I get it.
sexy boy.
Sexy boy.
I'm not your boy toy.
Toy.
No, I'm just a sexy boy.
Sexy boy. Sexy boy.
I'm not your boy toy.
Toy. Toy.
Eat your heart out, girls. Hands off the merchandise.
was that a Blue Eyes White Dragon singing that in his head?
Yes.
Yeah.
Each
A
head had
sexy
its own
blue eyes
verse.
white dragon that is.
No.
is
Blue Eyes White Dragon
sneaky.
only has one head. Blue Eyes
Oh, that's
Ultimate
right.
Dragon
Ultimate.
has
There we
three.
go.
Oh
You
my
know
God, Kitty.
Look, you know how much I love the Yu-Gi-Oh or the whole Yu-Gi-Oh franchise.
Kaiba,
Donald spoke up.
could you talk to Tiffany for me? I think she needs someone like you to talk to.
Oh, God. I got this idea from my friend Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, absolutely. You should go talk to this young girl. This is very well written.
I nodded. Of course, Donald.
It is true. Donald Trump would never talk to Tiffany.
Exactly. That's his daughter.
He then left, and I turned
Spitfire
to
says-
Tiffany.
Spitfire says the money changing hands is implied.
Right.
Oh no.
He then left, and I turned to Tiffany just as I smirked,
You know what I mean?
and her eyes caught mine. Then, smiling shyly, she headed over to the balcony and placed her arms on the railing, looking up at the stars that had come out, twinkling like diamonds.
And they were.
See? Or the star. Sorry.
Tiffany! Yeah, probably both. She's in that glittery dress, so.
Yeah, could be.
Tiffany, I said, the smirk on my face now transfigured into a concerned look as I walked up behind her and placed my hands on her shoulders.
And was tackled by Secret Service.
I'll remind you that this was supposed to be a story about meeting Donald Trump and
Yeah.
talking about business.
Yeah,
like-
businessmen who are
just
about
turned out-
business.
It's like, what if Seto Kaiba and Donald Trump met? Well, obviously, child sex trafficking would not be far
I mean,
behind.
Yeah.
he's not far off.
There it is. That's what happens.
We are both businessmen.
She
No.
remains
But we
silent.
do.
I then tried a different tactic. Something's troubling you, Tiffany, I observed. What is it? She sighed, then took a deep breath.
Mr. Kaiba.
She began. Please, I purred, rubbing her shoulders. Call me Seto. She turned to look at me. I could see fire in those cobalt orbs of hers.
Also, her eyes seem pretty lit up, too.
I would like to quote Misha, God damn it, this sucks.
Oh,
Spitfire asks, is this going to get us put on a watch list?
Yes.
And mentally congratulated myself for creating that fire in the first place.
Okay, Seto.
She then said, eager to pick back up where she had left off.
I'm worried you're gonna catch these hands if you don't get the fuck off of me.
Sorry, translation. I'm worried you're going to catch these hands if you don't get the fuck off of me. Please continue.
I blinked as I ran one of my hands from her shoulder down to the small of her back.
No.
Okay. How old is she, though?
Didn't they go over it up there? Like the...
Well, no, they established
Ivanka.
how old Ivanka was, but they never established Tiffany.
her
Can
half
somebody
She was born
look
in
up her...
93, so
Yeah,
she would
she's
be
93.
17.
That makes it okay.
Yeah, she would have been 17 at the time.
Yeah.
So,
Really?
that's like an Arkansas spinster.
Right, because this is 2010, right? So yeah.
All right, and
That's
now
what
how,
it said. That's
how
what it
old
said.
is Seto Kaiba?
And she was born in
I have
October.
no idea how old
so-
Seto Kaiba is, but...
Well, she was born
I
in
mean-
October, so Misha's probably
I
right.
mean,
She's
he's
16.
probably about 17 as well, I think.
A businessman?
Yes, he's a child genius.
Excuse me. Seto Kaiba's age, according to the Yugipedia, the
Please.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki, is 18. His
Okay.
height is 1.86 meters.
Okay, well, let's not get into a whole thing here.
What's his blood type, though? Says
Okay,
Misha.
worried about what,
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Tiffany? I asked as I guided her back. So he's put his
He's grooming her.
hand on the small of her back, so I imagine him guiding her back to the couch in front of
Yeah.
the fire. What or who is it that you feel so worried about?
It's just the American spirit and whether it can recover after such an intense attack here.
She remained silent. I then reached over, took one of her hands in mine, and whispered, "You can tell me, Tiffany. I'm very good at keeping secrets." She looked at me, a bit puzzled.
Really, Seto?
She asked. I nodded. Of course. I then looked down at our enjoined hands and smiled. After all, you really are quite something. A fiery beauty, no doubt. As I said the word fiery, I looked at the fire in the fireplace. Get it?
It was.
And that half-sister of yours, Ivanka. I have the sick feeling that he's
Yeah.
going to suggest something.
Yeah.
She really intrigues
is
me just
wholesome.
as much as you do.
Really?
She asked.
Wow!
I nodded. You see, women so-called, women
They are.
like you intrigue me. A fiery spirit, pride in what you do. What is it you do? And being
She's a
efficient.
teacher.
She reads other people's diaries.
Yeah,
Spitfire says it's always good to tell a girl how hot her sister is.
That's how me and Tristan got together.
Well, you lay the groundwork for having a fallback.
I'll never forget the day Tristan looked in my eyes and
Plus-
said, "Your sister is so beautiful."
Plus, you're really quite Well, beautiful. Tiffany bit her lower lip and finally said,
A whole bunch of words.
yeah, I don't know if you want
All right, no, I'm committing.
Okay.
Well, real quick before you do it, Spitfire says most surprising is him using the word women instead of females.
Honestly, yeah.
Well, Seto, the reason I'm worried is because of the recession.
I can't.
All too often, I look at my father and how he does business, and then at his and my bank account, and feel worried. From one day to the next, I keep hoping we'll have enough money to tide us over for the next week, month, year, or even 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, Donald Trump, he's really hard up.
You can scrape some gold off the.
He's bankrupted 6 companies so far. I'm worried. We can't just keep failing upward, can we? Boring. Then she then let out a sigh of relief.
Boy, does that feel good to get out in the open.
There was a silence
I'm a businessman, you know.
as I was thinking over what she had said.
I wasn't even listening to her while she was talking to me.
I was thinking over it, yeah. Finally, the silence was broken as I said, Tiff, you'll be okay. I've spoken to your father, and he says that you, your half-sister, and he do have been storing up enough money to get you through the hard times.
So she was talking and all that, and then he's like, I was thinking over her, and then I finally broke the silence. Like, no, it wasn't silence. She was talking.
No, because
Yeah,
she finished, and then there was a bit of silence because he thought it over.
We're misinterpreting
Yes.
thinking
Yes.
over. You see,
Yes.
it's like talking over.
I see.
Yeah, he's like, while I was thinking during all that silence and her lips were moving,
All
I
that
finally
noise of
broke that
silence.
silence with my handsome words.
I mean, there were female noises, but whatever.
Tiffany looked at me, and I couldn't help but notice the smile that lit up her eyes.
Each corner of her
Couldn't help but
chin.
notice you grinning at me.
Thanks, Seto.
She finally replied. Then, with that, she gave me a hug. I was a little taken aback at first, but then returned it. After all, I secretly felt I needed it.
It was a hug with her
Don't
hands
tell.
only around my neck.
Yes. Oh, she's hugging me. After we broke apart, I then said, man, do we need to bring back that counter? You're welcome, Tiffany. And thanks for the hug. I needed it.
By the way, I finished.
Yep.
We then smiled at each other. Then after we headed back to the fireplace. From where?
The other
They're
fireplace.
just heading into the fireplace?
Listen, this house has 4 fireplaces.
Donald was there in the fireplace, smiling at the both of us.
Thanks, Mr. Kaiba.
He said, "You're welcome, Donald," I replied. Tiffany then whispered into my ear.
I'm gonna go see if Eric wants to go shopping with me.
Upon noticing my puzzled look, she then explained,
Eric's my half-brother. He's a pretty nice guy and kind of cool, too.
She then left as I
Eric.
went over to where my chair was. Then Donald... Yeah, Eric Trump. That's the very same. He's
Alleged.
kind of cool.
I do
Did
not
you
agree
know?
with the author's views of Tiffany's views of Eric Trump.
There's nobody that thinks Eric's cool.
And not even the Trumps. Cool. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think
They
so.
all kind of hate each other.
Does Don Jr. This is kind of an aside, but does Don Jr. feel bad that his dad named him after his penis?
Well, she says he's kind of
What-
cool,
what-
so
what
like
bigger
not being
compliment?
cool is technically like a kind of cool.
Wow.
Yeah, so there you go. Think about that.
She then left as I went over to where my chair was. Then, Donald and I began discussing ideas for what to do about the recession.
Oh, we're businessing now.
You see, we were businessmen.
I told him that Mokuba had gotten into the habit of putting himself on a budget.
I did not know that we were going to get sound fiscal advice from this man.
Which I felt was a wise idea. Donald agreed and said that his son, Donald Trump Jr., was doing a fine job budgeting his money as well.
That's why he went to Sears Photo.
African lions down tour.
Yeah, Spitfire, we're about to hear Mokuba's strong opinions on avocado toast. As we talked into the evening, I felt a bond of deep understanding with Donald, as we both had businesses to run
I'm gonna vomit
and
blood.
family to take care of. Speaking of budgeting,
Is somebody
Robot?
being attacked
Who's
by a racer
buzzing?
or something?
Who's robot?
who's playing Taboo and losing?
Yeah. Read the rules.
Okay. Speaking of budgeting, if you start that habit early in life and are wise with your money, I believe that you will go far, especially when it comes to being a savvy saver
Is this like the Aesop fable moral of the story?
Yes.
Oh my god.
and a smart spender. Signed, Seto Kaiba, CEO of Kaiba Corp.
This is Seto Kaiba's like graduation speech.
Spitfire says this was written by a financial advisor.
All you have to do to be successful is be born into a rich family, inherit $1 billion company, help your father dies, and then you're good to go. And then budget, of course.
And budget.
You gotta start the budgeting early.
Right.
I'm thinking of writing a review that says, like, the ghost of Jeffrey Epstein signals his approval here. So-
I'm hoping this is long abandoned because I left a review for it as well.
Hold on, nightcrawlerlover's got something to say. Well, I hope you liked reading this one shot as much as I liked writing it. After all, being smart with your money and budgeting is a good habit to begin early in life. Sincerely,
Can't stress that enough.
Nightcrawlerlover.
Wow.
Anyway,
Don't do drugs.
time to
I just
go
thought
get
I
a gun in a dark corner, I guess.
Oh my god, these reviews are awful. They're like,
Quinn,
oh,
please share with the class.
oh, there's one that is
Oh,
by
no.
Metalhead, who says Trump 2020 bitches #drain the swamp.
Oh yeah.
Loved it. You truly captured the alluring complexity of Seto Kaiba. Personally, I felt that you explored his character more completely in this brief story than any anime or manga ever could. Ever could. Writing. 10 out of 10.
Ever
Always
could.
felt like
Oh.
what was missing was child sex trafficking, and you really tapped into that.
I drew this for you. How do we see what you drew, stranger guest?
Oh, look, they came and read this on September 11th.
Oh,
What would this link be to? Does fanfiction have...
like fanfiction /s. I don't
Yeah.
want to know.
Oh, that's just a link to this fanfiction. What the hell?
Oh, weird.
599-151-94130001. Please look, pray, and fast as much as possible. Thank you.
All you hip kids, what does 5991519413001 mean? Is that
Activated.
like talk?
It's an acronym that means 51119829993. 363.
Why do these?
1, 2, 3, 4,
It's
5,
if you turn it upside down and look at it, it reads Louis Higgs.
Okay. All right, I think we're done analyzing this one.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Nice.
Can
More.
cross this off the list forever.
please.
That was the most disgusting thing I have ever heard.
Yeah. Raise your hand.
Yeah,
if
that
you
was
absolutely
that one
hated
was pretty rough.
Come back next week where we'll be reading anything else.
Yep.